So let's talk about how you can place the Tinder algorithm in 2021. Your discoverability in the app, meaning how many people actually see your profile, depends to a very high degree on how much the algorithm likes you. When you don't get shown to a lot of people, obviously you won't get many matches. So it's key that you stay on the good side of the algorithm and that you act in a way that makes the experience for you great, but also gives you a lot of success. So the algorithms look for certain things, and now we're just gonna go through what these things are, how you can use them to your advantage, what you should pay attention to, and what might be not so important. So let's jump right in and take a look at what the Tinder algorithm in 2021 needs to rank you very high and show you and match you with a lot of people. If you designed a dating app, what would you want people to be rewarded for? I would say you want to reward them for doing the things that you ask them to, right? And what's the first thing that Tinder asks you when you install the app and open it and create an account? Well, it asks you to complete your profile, right? Put up photos, high quality photos, photos that show you. Get verified. Connect your Spotify, connect your Instagram. Fill out your bio. Write more than just one sentence. Maybe select your interests. All these things, like fill out the profile. Make it complete. You don't have to use every single photo that they give you a slot for, but you should have at least 4 to 6 photos. And you shouldn't just put your Insta handle in your bio, but just write a few sentences. And that brings me to my next point. You have to write the bio in a way that is friendly for the algorithm. So the algorithm scans your bio and reads the sentences. They call that parsing. So it parses your sentences and looks for certain phrases and words that it calls stop words that other people, when they read your profile, they stop, and that's what they like, that's what they want to connect with you about. And so the algorithm looks for words like that. So I would recommend that you use very descriptive language. So for example, a word like volleyball or a phrase like looking for a relationship, something like I'm a fan of Dan Brown. Stuff like that is easy for the algorithm to detect. Dan Brown, that other person put Dan Brown in their profile. So maybe let's show them to each other because they might like each other. Okay? So make sure you write your bio in a way that is very descriptive, where people can have, pictures in their mind, lots of nouns, lots of activities that you enjoy. Same with your photos. Don't just put up any photos. You should make sure that they are high quality. Make sure they're high resolution. Make sure they're in focus. Make sure they, only show you and just a few friends. But don't upload any blurry, shitty pictures where it can't really recognize whether it's you or another person, okay? So make sure you have high quality photos up, because that's the one thing that's gonna make or break your success in online dating. If your photos suck, no one else that you do will ever help. So if you don't do anything else from these tips in here, make sure you have the highest quality photos on there. If you have to spend a little bit of money to get some photos from a photographer because all you have are some mirror selfies, then that's well worth it. Otherwise, you're just gonna spend your time on the app and are frustrated why nothing's gonna happen. Or you're even gonna think, well, I might not be that good looking, or something might be wrong with me. I'm not getting any matches. Well, without great photos, you won't ever get any results in online dating. So make sure that is your top priority, and that's what you do first and foremost. Alright, now that we talked about setting up your profile, the next thing to discuss is swiping. Swiping should be very genuine. You should spend some time on each profile that you consider and, read through their bio, see what their top artists are that they connected from Spotify. Look through all their pictures. Just do what a real, genuine person would do. Just look through all the information and consider for yourself, is that a person who might be a good fit for me? In terms of how many people you should swipe right and how many you left and so on, a good rule of thumb is, if you apply the 80-20 rule, so 80% left, 20% right, that's a rough estimate that should be fine. Some people say 10-1, but in general, you should be somewhat picky. But when I say picky, I do not mean that you should only swipe right on the most attractive women and the hottest girls on these apps. Because the thing is, if she only has an Insta handle, if she only has her photos and her age there, chances are she might not use the app as frequently, or she only uses it to, get followers for her Instagram or whatever it is. Your chances of that woman also swiping right on your profile are pretty slim. And it has nothing to do with you. But the thing is, the algorithm looks at, okay, the person that you liked, how many of those liked you back? And if that ratio is not good, then it will not rank you as highly. So make sure that you're super picky with women who, don't have any bio, only have their Instagram handle in their bio. Write stuff like, I'm just looking, or not taking this seriously, or I'm not here often. Stuff like that. Okay, anything, any indication that they might not have a very high likelihood of swiping you right means it's better to be picky with these people. And invest in the ones that have invested themselves into, putting some effort into the bio and making sure that they're actually on the app and active and they try to use it like you do. You're always going to do much better with that strategy than if you just try to only match with the absolutely hottest women and look for nothing else. Another tip when it comes to swiping is, for how long should you swipe? Like, should you sit there every evening and swipe for an hour? No. Never do that. The app rewards activity, but it doesn't reward activity in terms of total hours on the app. It's better to use very short amounts of time, but more frequently. So let's say I live in a big city, okay, in Europe, and we have a great public transport system, so I use public transportation all the time. And whenever I'm in a subway or in a tram or a bus or whatever, I have some time to look at my phone and do things, right? So that's a perfect amount of time, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it is, just a tiny amount of time to look at the app and swipe some. And if you do that a few times throughout the day, that's ideal. That's what the app wants you to do. Another great tip when it comes to swiping is that you should swipe whenever you change your location. Because location is so key. Tinder tries to pair you up with people who are close to you. Because if you live in the same area, then the likelihood of you guys connecting and being a good fit for each other is higher according to them. So what you should do is, when you drive to a different part of town, take 2-3 minutes and see who the app matches you up with, right? When you travel to a different town, when you travel in general, you should always use that as a chance to do swipes. Because whenever you're in that new location, you're gonna be shown new people. Tinder is gonna think, well, that person just entered that new location. They're physically close to each other. Let's see if they like each other. In the past, what people would often do is they would just, once, the results from the initial boost, when you first join Tinder, they give you a little bit of a newbie boost, so you get quick success, so you like the app, so you're gonna stick with it and are hooked. But the thing is, people use that. People try to game the system by deleting their account, creating a new account to get that boost again. But that does not work anymore. Tinder tracks your device. Tinder tracks you across all your devices. Tinder has tons of ways to figure out whether it's you or a different person who creates that account. So the only safe way to start completely fresh with a fresh slate on Tinder is by deleting your account, waiting for at least 3 months. And once that time has passed, then you can request all your data that Tinder has of you and see if there's anything left. And if there isn't, then you can safely create a new account. But anything else, and I did a ton of research on this, guys, everything else is a huge risk. And if you get shadow banned by Tinder, then your results are back to 0. And you might never be able to use the app again in a way that is satisfactory to you. So I don't think that's worth it. And there are different ways to, once your profile has died down a little, to reactivate it and to get it active again and to get you matches again. Every one of us likes validation, we all like to swipe through a bunch of people and see, all these attractive women like us. But then, once you have these matches and we look through their profiles, nothing comes to mind and we just, we'll message tomorrow maybe, and then some time passes and we never get around to it. This is not good for how the algorithm sees you. You should always message a person who you match with. If you don't know anything to say to them, then you shouldn't have swiped right on them in the first place. So be selective with your swiping, but then when you swipe right on someone and it turns out that that's a match, always make sure that you write with them, okay? Otherwise, you're gonna be ranked lower and you're gonna be penalized. Another really important aspect when it comes to interacting with your matches is, how the conversation goes. Do they message back? Who writes longer messages? Are emoticons and expressions of laughter like LOL exchanged, Do they send GIFs and all kinds of stuff? Do they exchange phone numbers? Anything that you could see as a sign of success for a conversation, a sign that it's going well, is also what the algorithm is going to notice and thinks, okay, so this person always has really good interactions with women that they match. So obviously that's a good experience for these women. They laugh, they send emoticons. So let's show that person to other women, and because obviously they're going to have a good time. And so let's just help that person out and make sure that a lot of women match with him and see him. This is not necessarily something that the algorithm itself rewards, but your behavior will be much more algorithm friendly if you stick to this tip. And that's turning off all notifications. So that has done wonders for me, to be honest. Because, when you turn off all notifications from Tinder, then you won't know when you get a match. You won't know when someone writes back. You won't know that a new person liked you. So what you're gonna do is throughout your day, and if you're a curious person like I am, then you're just gonna open the app a couple of times throughout your day, quickly take a look, new match, message her quickly, close it down again. And that behavior is what Tinder wants. And so indirectly, by turning off notifications, you're just gonna be less needy and you're gonna use the app more often but shorter. And that's both of these things are really helpful for the algorithm. So I would highly recommend that you turn off all notifications from dating apps in general, not just Tinder. You're just gonna stay much saner. It's gonna be a much better experience. You're gonna come across as less needy, and it's beneficial for the algorithm. Now we come to a premium feature, boosts. So boosts can be a fantastic tool, okay? They're gonna make sure that you're shown to way more people than you normally would. And all these dating apps, they started as any tech business would to monetize over time. And when they monetize, it's just like on Facebook, at first everyone saw your profile, same on Instagram at first. You posted a photo, you got a ton of new followers and likes and whatever. And over time, they limit that organic reach. So you pay for ads, so you pay for premium features. Now, back to Tinder. Premium features, they're gonna help you to get more reach, to be seen by more people. And boosts are one of the most helpful premium features. So the question is, should you use boosts? Should you use boosts all the time? So the answer is quite clear. Boosts are awesome. Boosts really help, but you should use boosts sparingly. So one situation that I always think is fantastic to use boosts is when you're in a new location. Okay, so when I go on vacation and I'm in a new city and I want to meet people there, then I might not have time to just wait until they just organically discover me, right? So using a boost in a situation like that is really helpful. And another way is if let's say you changed some photos. You got better photos and you put the new photos in, or you wrote the new bio or whatever, and you want to see how that works, how people like that, if women respond positively to your changes. In a situation like that, you just get way more data back in a shorter amount of time if you use a boost. So I highly recommend you use them, but don't overuse them. Don't use them all the time. If you use a boost every day, Tinder only has so many good potential people that it can show to you. So when you run out of these people, the quality is just gonna get lower, and it's just not gonna be the people that you want to attract if you use boosts too much. So let's say you apply all these tips from this video and you still feel like you get 0 matches, you don't get any results on these apps. Sometimes there is a problem with them just ranking you unfairly low. So in a situation like that, I have heard people tell stories about contacting support and asking, hey, what's going on? I feel like my profile isn't that bad. I don't get anything. And in a situation like that, they sometimes get back to you after a few days and tell you, hey, we looked at your profile and everything should be fine, and you're gonna get matches again. So sometimes they can give you that boost. Sometimes they can see, we might have banned that person unfairly, or whatever it is. So this is like a last resort. If you really don't get any results, not even with premium, then you should really contact support and see if there's anything going on that's weird or that's preventing you, and talk to them about maybe resetting your ranking or whatever it is that they have of you and seeing if that helps. So to sum up, if you want to be successful on Tinder in 2021, then you have to use the app in a very natural, genuine way. You have to use the app like a very sought after, highly desirable man would. And these men wouldn't be needy. They would message with several different women. They would reply. They would make sure that they only select people that are good enough for their standards. And that doesn't just mean looks. If a person doesn't have a great bio, if there's nothing that pops into your mind about their profile that you could write to them, then just be picky, and swipe these people left. The algorithm is going to help you as a result, and you're going to be rewarded. So as I said, these apps want to make money. And if I'm completely honest with you, I would say use it without premium at first. Eventually, your results are going to get lower and lower. And at that point, you have to make the decision, either if it's not a big deal for you, like I think the amount of time saved by using premium features, I like gold and up, because that gives you the ability to see who liked you and be very selective and very fast with your matches. So I think that's well worth it. But if you don't want to spend any money on that, then I would say use the app as long as it gives you results. Then delete your account completely, delete the app from your phone and everything else that's associated with it. Use a different dating app for a few months. And then after, let's say 3 to 6 months or whatever it is, come back to the app, see if it gives you a new boost. And yeah, you can switch from app to app like that. Some people do that successfully that I know. And so that's also a fair strategy, but it requires so much more time that I think like the few bucks it costs to get the occasional boost or to take Tinder Gold or Platinum for a few months, it's well worth it, at least for me. And I think it should be worth it for you too, because the amount of time saved and the amount of hassle saved by that I think it's well worth it. I hope these tips helped. Let me know if there's anything else that has worked for you on Tinder or anything else that has frustrated you. Share your experience with me in the comments. I am always curious to hear how people experience the same things that I use. And yeah, we'll see each other in the next video. Take care.